a company is a professional club. It's a you can consider a professional football club. I think that's a very good name to put it. As long as you are very in the pain of that failure, or as long as you are grieving for a pain, you can receive more goals. Before I joined National in Netherlands, I worked and I built different type of softwares from web, mobile apps to desktop applications. I have done that, all that, because I think when it comes to emotional intelligence, it's about how to connect with outside world.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vibe It Up, the podcast where we dive deep into the dynamic world of software development. I'm your host, Dan Tudorache, and I bring over 2 decades of experience in the software development industry, wearing multiple hats as a coach, trainer, psychologist, and solution architect, web developer in many technologies, and so on. So, in each episode, what we do here is exploring the personal and professional journeys of our guests, unraveling the threads that wave their success stories, and we're not just talking about code and algorithms, and we want to delve deeper into the beating heart of the tech world, the people. So, today, I have with me Mahdi Fanidisfani, if I said correctly. If not, please correct me. It's up to you. And I want you to provide a brief overview of your current role and responsibilities in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yeah, to start, hello everyone. I'm Mahdi Fanidisfani. Thanks to Dan for for pleasing me to be in this show and this podcast. It will be my pleasure. About me, I'm originally from Iran. I lived in the Netherlands now for more than 5 years before living in Italy for a couple of years. My background is computer engineering, so I'm basically a software born person. So I born in this industry from academy, and then grew up through the normal ladder. Um, and at the moment, I'm the CEO of the Kruso Netherlands, a subsidiary of the Kruso company, which is a Nordic company with the headquarter in Denmark and present in 4 markets: Denmark, Sweden, Germany, and the Netherlands. So on the personal level, also I was a professional football player before. So I'm not only a tech guy, but I also do the sport, and I love sport. And I'm here with my family in the Netherlands, and enjoying the journey of having a toddler, and at the
Mhm.
same time running the startup in the Netherlands.
Yes, yes. Wonderful period. I have 2 kids, and my daughters have 6 and already 10 years.
Wow,
But it's a
you look so young for that old age.
yeah, I love them. I love them. They're my heart. um,
Amazing.
okay. Thank you very much for your introduction. Yeah, you're. It seems you're also techie, but you're also a sport man. Right, and I've read something that many high performance athletes get better in their career and in the business. So why would you think that would be? What the main ingredient for that?
I think it's the similarity, right? So if there was someone from Spotify, I think mentioned it a while back. I read about it. It's like a company is a professional club. It's a you can consider a professional football club. I think that's a very good name to put it. We always also say family. I think, but there is a difference between a family and a company.
Mhm.
So I think that the good thing for me as an experience was I was playing football when I was captain in teams. It's very easily mappable to a company that you have the team members around you, because you all have the same goal. We wanted to hit the score, and then you're going to hit the right product for the client, and that's the same. And you know that the only person that scores the goal is not the real reason a team wins. A team wins because everyone works together. And it's very similar here. And also in football, you need to be patient to score. And I think in the companies and in the teams, you need to be patient to see the value of what you deliver. And at the same time, being a captain in teams is very similar to being a leader in a company, I would say, or being for a team to deliver products. So I think that similarity, if you succeed in a sport, or if you have a sport background, not even succeeding, but you have a sport background, I think you can be easily a team player in any role that you take afterward, in a business, in a tech, or in any place, because you have this spirit. And at the same time, there are sports which are individual sports, like I don't know, boxing and all those things. I cannot personally judge those sports, but I think it just brings the self-esteem super high when you do those sports because everything is on you and you win it by yourself. I think that self-esteem can be spread around, and you bring the other people. If you join a team, you bring those people, those mindset to those people, so you can
Mm,
become a stronger team. I mean, that
yeah.
would be my perception as well on individual sports.
Hmm. So what I understood from you is that it matters very much the concept of being a team player in the first place if you are playing a team sport, or and the self trust, the personality, and everything that you build on yourself and the mindset that you have that you could make it in any domain that you want. Awesome.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that those are the things that you learn from a sport. And also in the sport, you learn that the mistakes are super visible and real when you do a sport. If you do a
Mm,
mistake, that's going to be a score to your team, and you need to recover from that very fast. Otherwise, as long as you are very in the pain of that failure, or as long as you are grieving for a pain, you can receive more goals. So it's better to learn from that failure and try to still stand for the rest of the game. I think
mm.
it's very real when it comes to business as well. If you want to be just stuck with your failures, you're never going to get anywhere. You need to learn from them and pass, and just go for the win.
Mm. Yeah, awesome, awesome perspective. Thank you. Could you share a bit about your background in tech and journey in this technical world, leading up to your current position?
Yeah, well, from my start days, learning about computer when I was 10, and like usual people playing with the first computers, I was also breaking everything, and then learning fixing that, and then growing, and in academy following computer engineering in bachelor. Um, and at the same time, I was always thinking about like working and all those things. So I was started also my first works very early when I was studying bachelor, and doing programming and all those things. And I was studying hardware and I was doing bachelor. So I did assembly, VHDL, all those, yeah, very low code actually stuff, low level code. So I code that, and at the same time learning about software stuff. Then moved to Italy for my master, and also there again mixture of hardware and software. But I remember days that I was creating these PSBs, and then I was
Hmm.
basically detecting the heartbeats, the ECG, EEG, and all those things. I was building those
Oh,
boards,
nice project.
and also I was playing with the boards like DSP, FPG, and those things also back then to do image processing and acceleration and stuff. And then in some point in Italy, in one of my jobs, I moved to become more software person. Back then,
Hmm.
I always believed that hardware engineers are the real engineers and the softwares, no, they're just coders. But then I became one of them myself. And then from that point, I became interested in also more because I knew about the hardware architecture back then. But then I became familiar also about the software architecture, and I want to do more there. So I did more on that side, and then moved to the Netherlands after some years, and here work in several companies as well. And yeah, moved on to be a team lead, tech lead, engineer manager, head of engineering for a while, and now I'm the director of a company.
Wow, wow, nice, nice. I love this. gradual growth of yours. So it seems you had a lot of passion on what you have done, and everything just linked together after that and mattered.
Yeah, for me, I'm a person that always plan things ahead, and I'm always ambitious about what I want to be. And I always have a plan for next 5 years, and I have a goal to retire when I'm 40. So I need to reach to those goals. That's why I kind of puzzle my career and my life and my actions toward that. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and open my own company. That's why when this opportunity came for Crusoe, I was very surprisingly a good moment because I was having a plan in the coming 2 years to open a company, and then it came on, and yeah, I accepted the challenge, and it's a very interesting journey. And for me, it's all this career progression I had. It's not only my experience and my effort, thanks to also people advised me, support me, and also to my teammates to create an environment for me to grow to that level. So I think it's both factors are important. Personal, actually, confidence, personal planning, personal effort. At the same time, the right environment to get to the points that you want.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so if you are to think back, reflecting on your early career, what were some key roles or I don't know projects maybe that influenced your professional growth?
I think there are a couple of really like peaks in my career. I mean, the moments that it was very critical that build up the next steps for me. One of them was moving from a company in Italy to another company. That was a very actually important move for me because in bytecode I learned zillion things from the top CEO CTO person that I ever worked with him. We are still quite friend after all those years. He was an amazing mentor, an amazing coder himself, at the same time holding the CEO title of the company. But he was sitting next to me and doing code more than me, which I was a software engineer back then, and he knew everything and he was on top of everything. So I learned a lot from him, and it was a great environment for me to learn from the best to grow myself. That was having a very big impact in my career. And then at the same time, when I was in Zuver, there was this opportunity to take the lead of a team and become a team lead to make the booking projects happen in that company. I took the opportunity, and that gave me a very sort of a drift in my career to go to the leadership of a tech leadership, let's say, not a people management only, tech leadership. And yeah, these are the moments that I think had a very critical impact in my career. And of course, there are other. Every move I have done, there was quite learnings and quite actually opportunities that was presented to me. But I think these two had a very huge impact. And of course, my move from Italy to Netherlands itself was a big move. I think where I'm standing today in the Netherlands, I don't think it would be even feasible in 10 years to do in Italy because it's
Wow.
the country environment. It's a
That
very merit
difference?
based. Yeah, I think things are much faster and more merit based in the
Hmm.
Netherlands than Italy that I lived back then. Maybe things change now, I don't know. But back then it was very hard for me to see the growth that I'm having there because the environment wasn't that much, yeah, kind of
Mm.
feasible. Like, yeah, that's what I can say.
So the environment helped you to grow quicker, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
I'm a master of shortcuts, but sometimes people call me because I decode the stuff, and I try to learn things, and I have a good pace of learning. At the same time, I'm a very goal oriented person, so I'm when I have something, I for sure will do everything possible in this sport to make it happen, and I'm very goal oriented. At the same time, I'm a very people oriented, so people comes first for me.
Mm.
And And in the environments like some countries like Italy, or I think the situation by the way changed now, but the least international, the harder for an expat to grow in that environment. When I came to the Netherlands, it's already a very established international environment, so you can grow as an expat and you can be seen as a local anyway, very easily. But in those countries that are still developing to become more international, then you can struggle as an expat. I mean, also like back then, one of the jokes I always made is you were going to the immigration office, international immigration office, to do these permit cards, and the person there was the officer was talking in Italian, and I was saying, yeah, well, it's a bit contradictory to the name of here. It's an international immigration office, and then you talk Italian. How I'm supposed to know Italian? But here you have different segmentation. You have like high skilled workers, which are the people like in tech studying. I mean, you have different visa types, and you have more equality and inclusiveness, which helps to boost your career in such an environment.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how much the environment can help you or not help you develop
Yeah,
your career, your personality, and your life and your future in general. But can
absolutely.
you recall a specific challenge or obstacle you faced early in your career, and I don't know how it shaped you and your skills?
I think we all go in the career go through several challenges, immediate challenges to get where we are, and I think I'm not an exception. So I had several challenges, and it helped me. And I think one of the main thing is adaptation. It's a very big challenge in general. Adaptation to a new environment, to a new country, to a new way of living, to a new way of working. Adaptation when you move from company to company. These are challenges that you will get. At the same time, sometimes adaptation to the projects. For example, before I joined National in Netherlands, I worked and I built different type of softwares from web, mobile apps to desktop applications. I have done that, and I was mainly also a hands-on coder. Even if I was a I don't know team lead, tech lead, engineering manager, always did coding, and I'm doing these days as well. But in my private time, the main thing is that the main thing happened there was I never built a very top kind of for a big enterprise mobile application before the National in Netherlands, and then I joined that company and took the tech lead position for building the main national NN app, which basically was the critical product of the company. And that was a challenge for me to adapt to what is really the additional requirements for building the best mobile application. And I did a lot of studying and research and learning a lot from my peers what should be considered as the most critical things or aspects when it comes to mobile development, especially when it comes to banking, and you need to be very secure in building that. It was a huge learning curve for me there, and at the same time, a big challenge that I think with having the right people around me and the right material and content that I try to learn from, it helped me to to shape a new aspects in my skill set, which was becoming very confident building mobile application, and so knowing all the tricks and pieces afterward. I think that was one of the highlights I can mention on the challenges. But in general, adaptation to the environments, it's a big challenge, especially when you move from country to another country. I moved from Italy to Netherlands. It's a totally different work environment. It's a totally different way of working. Here you have work-life balance. In Italy, a bit on the question, and the main thing is also the quality that expected here. It's in different environments is it diverge basically. So here I try to learn from the environment what is the expected outcome from my role. And I think it's always a question to ask yourself: what is the outcome people expect from me, from the role that I'm holding? and overcoming those challenges, the people that are mainly expats can really relate to this story. It's a tough job. You need to yeah, to adapt, and I'm happy that I could survive.
Wow. It's yeah, it's quite a journey, and traveling from your country to Italy and that to Netherlands and Amsterdam. It's Amsterdam or other city?
Amsterdam, yeah.
Okay, okay. Yes, quite a journey. But in during this time, um, did you had any regrets or decisions that you would like now to have been taken differently?
Not really. I mean, I'm a person that believes in whatever happens to us, it's basically supposed to be like that. And I think I cannot. It's a very, very, very tough questions to answer, to be honest, because sometimes you get back to the past and you start changing piece of the puzzles for your favor, but then you cannot ensure that the rest of the things happen afterward, which some parts you love would happen again. So I think it's not a modular like history you build. It's a very connected history you build. So that's why I never regret whatever I have done so far or I've gone through. I mean, I regret some mistakes I've done, and maybe I hurt someone, or I don't know, I made some people sad, or I made myself sad. But I'm even if I regret those things, but I won't go and change them, because I think those one gave me learnings afterward to be a better person. And I don't know without them if I would be the same person I am today. So that's why I think regretting is not the right word to say that. I think I had learnings in my past that from those I try to make better steps for the future. But I won't change it. I don't dare to change it because I like where I am today.
Yes, yes. I mean, all the decisions we take during our journey, either it's career, professional journey, either it's our life journey, leads to some and leads to where we are and what we are now. And if you are happy with where you are now and what you are now, I think is the most important thing in
Exactly.
the world.
I think so. And I think everyone, it's to everyone and to myself, you must be always happy about where you are, because you still have a lot to for the future to do. I mean, in all these journeys, even if when I was in the toughest period of my life, I still I was trying to at least convince myself that I need to be happy, because you always have. I mean, there is a way that usually people use that. It's like there is always someone worse than being in a situation worse than you, and at the same time, you should be thankful for what you have got so far. And I think those two aspects can help you to a bit in the kind of the sad days. It can help you to boost your mood, and I think in the good days there is nothing much to you can add to that. But in general, in my opinion, we are built up with the decisions that we are making along the way. So if you're not happy with the path that we went so far, we need to just make different decisions, and we may need to just learn how to make better decisions. And I think then the karma, the environment, the energy around will help you. And one of the critical things that you should always be is positive thinking. I mean, that's how actually what helped me over the past 20 years to stand after losing my father when I was 14. I think after that incident, these 20 years was just positive thinking that hold me up. And and I think it's not going to stop, because positive thinking is something that help you and help the environment and help the people around you. If just half of the people in the world just think positively, I think it will be a different planet.
Indeed. And since you managed and mentioned the positive thinking, I'm wondering, how do you see the importance of emotional intelligence skills in the tech industry, and most of that in leadership roles?
I think it's some people nicely said that it's as you call as the IQ, as you call as the skills, as you call as the hard skills, how we call that. Because I think when it comes to emotional intelligence, it's about how to connect with outside world. It's not coming to really tech, or it doesn't matter really which industry you are in. Like for example, people working in sales, these are the good ones. They are with a high intelligence because they know how to connect with people. I think emotional intelligence is, for me, would come maybe to two things: how you connect with the world, actually impactfully, that you are here, you have an influence, people can relate and listen to you, and the other thing, how you have a good perceive and understanding of the world around you. So, for example, when it comes to leadership and tech, how do you have a good understanding of your engineers feeling outside of the pull request? The pull request shows how much code they do and how much work they do, the quality of their work. But do you know how how the quality of their mood is, how the quality of their feeling is? Do they need any support mentally? Because there is a difference between a chat GPT and a human being. The chat GPT can never get tired of doing coding and all these things, but a human can get tired of doing a repetitive thing. Even if you are the best coder in the world, but if you get the same assignment for 2 months, 3 months, you're going to get tired in some point. So these are coming to the world around you, how you have a good understanding about it. At the same time, how with your words, with your even body language and the soft skills, you can have a positive impact or an impact on your own team, when it comes to the tech leadership, and how you can boost their feeling, their mood, their motivation. Of course, not a fake one, but based on reality, you're able to carry them along and yeah, to boost them to the future. And I'm a very kind of a pushy person when it comes to my engineers. Because I always believe that I hire smarter people, and we have to hire smarter people than ourselves. At the same time, a lot of cases I face with engineers that they are amazing engineers, they are top talents, but they are not ambitious. That's a key, because if you ask a lot of software engineers and say where you want to be in the next 5 years, I think they just know, maybe they would say, if they're mid, say I want to be senior. And it's a very tough question to ask a software engineer what they want to be in the next 5 years. And for me, it's a must. You must know where you're going in the next 5 years. And in a lot of cases, with my team members, I try to build that future for them, and to dig to their mind and to dig to their wishes, to understand what could be maybe the good next step and meaningful step for them. Because it's very important that we grow, and I grow and my team grow, because yeah, we need that growth for the doing a better job at the end of the day. And I think you don't want to see me as a team lead forever in a team. I need to move to show that other people can move, right? And they can also get growth. So that comes all to the not one skill that you are a good coder, but you need to be ambitious. You need to have good soft skills to reach those ambitions. And some roles really need those skills as a requirement. If you want to manage people, you need to have a good EQ, and you need to know how to communicate with people.
Yeah, yeah, and you touch few more points in what you said now, and the importance of an objective in your career and the career goal.
Yeah,
For example, I mean, knowing where you want to go, that will give you much power in your road, right, in your journey, because you know what you need from you build a car to get there, but you don't know the terrain.
yeah,
So to have a great car, you build that car to handle the terrain and to get to those uh, hard um, areas, right, where you need to
yeah.
travel.
And also, let's not forget the fact that we need the right people for the right positions. So when I've seen like amazing talents and amazing engineers, then I said more people should know about them. These people should spread the wings, and more people take benefit from their knowledge, from their talent. That's why I'm pushing my engineers to grow, because when they're on the stage and doing a presentation for the audience in the conferences, then instead of five people in the team knowing about their knowledge and learn from their knowledge and talent, a couple of thousand and million of people can learn from that. And that's the beauty that I love to see. For example, one of my engineers, that he's amazing, amazing engineer, super talented, and I think there was no surprise he's in the position he is now. Back then, a couple of years back when we had conversation, he was talking about always, yeah, I want to do, I want to go and do presentations and do like big shows and stuff. And we work on that. We have conversation around it, and now he's one of the top speakers around in the topic that he's expert. His name is Medhat. He's now an amazing performance, web performance kind of a speaker. Uh, he's going in different stages, and I'm just sitting and enjoying, and I'm just a bigger fan. And and this is what I always want to see, that my engineers going up and up. That for me is just sitting and clapping and enjoying. Not only my engineers, but everyone that has a talent and knowledge and can share that with the rest. I think they should get positions. They should be putting in more visible positions to do that. That's why you need the growth to get more voice
Mhm.
and and to share more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I love what you said because I'm trying as much as I can through all the media channels, LinkedIn and other type of social media channels or web pages to get this the importance of other skills rather than just tech ones, because we know the base. We know the base. We know how to do it. We know how to code. We know how to develop applications. That's a fact, and we are experts on that. But how people know that we do better what we are doing, and how people learn from us, and how we are managed to give this gift of sharing and information that we have been experienced throughout the time. And it's amazing because it's not just about some skills on how to deliver a speech, but it's about yourself, how to handle yourself, how to handle your emotions on a big stage in front of a lot of people, how to handle your um, vocabulary and everything you said, and the speech and all the skills beside that are very important, and also public presentation skills and so on. And it's great, and thank you for giving this example. And
Absolutely, absolutely. I
yeah.
would also add, and it's proactiveness also of people, and
Mm,
the responsibility of the leaders to find those talents and to grow that and help to nurture that to go to the right direction. But also there, I have examples like one of my engineers. She was not very confident on communicating and talking, and she found we had a conversation, and out of that she found a solution, and she went to the musical theater class. So the musical theater class, she got the confidence to better communicate, and I loved it. It was totally irrelevant to coding, and then she did it just as a hobby and fun, and improved her soft skill quite some. So I'm just saying there are solutions outside the box that you need to look after, that may be not in your domain but can support you with different skill sets.
yeah, it's good that you mentioned, because I myself have started since 2 years ago to go and have acting classes, right? Because that helped me very much to improvise, to be open and be myself and be genuine and be free when I give a speech and when I'm with other people, because having this introvert part, and many technical people have this introvert part because they are used to handle the code, sit in front of the computer all day and not having too much interaction with other people. So those skills could not be built this way. And to build those, you need to get out of there. Go to conferences, go to communities, go to events, go to, I don't know, classes, whatever classes there are. There are multiple examples on how one could raise those skills. And yes, that's true. I managed to grow my skills with those types of courses too. Yes, and since you mentioned that, how do you handle team dynamics, communication challenges, or conflicts within your project? I mean, you are the highest top level, but how do you teach the people in the middle management to handle this?
Yeah, of course. First, it's good to mention Kruso Netherlands. We are sort of in a startup mood, so those middle management doesn't still exist, even if Crusoe is around 150 plus people in globally, but in the Netherlands we are around 10. So and anyway, I was in this all corporate big enterprises company, IKEA, National, like the big ones. And it's very important when it comes to conflict in general. And I think it doesn't matter about the size, but rather about the human part of a conflict. So, of course, you will try to create a culture of openness that people can talk openly to each other, because a lot of times the conflict happens because the openness is not present in the team. So the value of openness is playing a crucial role in conflicts. The real openness, not just on words but in action, that everyone feels safe to share what they think. And another one is about transparency and also not take things personal. I think these aspects, these three aspects, are having a very critical role in conflicts in general. It could be a conflict from the level like pull request. You can have conflict in that level, and then you go to maybe getting neck to neck in a one-on-one, which I never seen. But it can be very huge, tough, high escalated conflict. But in general, the conflicts that I was involved and I experienced in my team or myself, whatever, I think the main thing was just facing the conflict as a subject itself, and not trying to not be offensive to each other as individuals, but just focusing on the topic, focusing on the problem and the issue, rather the people around it, and targeted with a kind of an open mind, rather being so biased by own thinking, with an open mind to solve it. And of course, if you need, you can reach out for help from peers, from managers, whatever. But I think if two human beings sitting in the same room and discuss a conflict openly, there is no way that it cannot be solved. And of course, sometimes you need to always have the mindset of we are here to solve problems, not to confirm ourselves. If you think about anything like that, then you will be less offended by people objecting you. And at the end, if you have just the mindset that the best solution should win, or the compromise solution that everyone agrees to, then we are just talking about ideas, not humans behind that. And in this way, we will avoid the conflict. And and also one thing that is very important is the timing of things. Like in a pull request, there could be a conversation about the style of a code, that someone has a different style of coding and writing million comments about fixing the other style. But it's about how much it impacts the quality of the work, and what if tomorrow is the deadline and all those changes can take another week. I think those compromises, keeping in mind the timing and stuff, can also help and relate to the best solution. The best solution is not the perfect solution, is the solution that fits the occasion. And if all of us has as a team member, as a company, everyone in the company, I try to do it in another in Kruso as well. Take an economic view on their actions, on the activities, then that can be a kind of a navigator on making decisions as well. Because the take an economic view is how much it costs, how much it bring value to the
Mm,
company, to the client,
yeah,
and that helps to resolve a lot of issues and to make decisions.
yeah, definitely. And so from what you said, we're going back to the emotional intelligence and the self-management skills. How do you manage your emotions to understand that's not about you? It's about the group, the project that we're building, the solution that we're building together, and everything we do in a collaborative way, and not just individual.
Exactly, and I think one of the thing about team dynamics, which is very important, is you have to ensure that it's always alive. It
Mm,
means that you don't create subgroups inside your team. Like two people are very comfortable to talk to each other, always to talk to each other, always review their own PRs, and then two
mhm,
others like that. No, you have to always break those silos. Everyone should talk to each other easily. Everyone should review each other car work easily, and at the
mhm,
same time, everyone should feel safe to talk to each other. And if you see signals that you see no or you hear some feedbacks, then you really need to put your focus fixing those things, because these things can easily build up a big conflict and can easily escalate to the levels that you know you don't want to get there. So I think one of the things that I always observe in these dynamics in the team, and one of the most difficult things as a leader you can do is managing seniors, because I think the conflict of seniors is a very, it's a kind of a famous actually situation. The conflict of seniors is one of the most difficult one to basically twist, actually to remove that twist from the team. So it's very important you always ensure that the seniors are in a good momentum with each other, uh, and at the same time that kind of reflect also on the rest of the team. But setting the right values in the team, sticking to those, and asking everyone to be evangelizing those values, then it's going to safeguard the dynamics in a healthy way.
mhm. Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that you had in your early career a good mentor that impacted your professional journey. And if you were to mentor someone entering the software development industry or tech industry now, what would advice would you give them and prioritize them in your guidance?
Yeah, well, maybe the main thing that it's always maybe very important for techies especially is proactiveness. Proactiveness on catching up on opportunities, proactiveness on introducing new things, proactiveness on learning things, proactiveness on being on the trends in the market. This is a very important aspect from the hard skill perspective, I would say. And from the soft skill perspective as well, it's always learn how to communicate. How, I mean, the communication is a key in any role, doesn't matter, because a good communicator will grow much faster than a bad communicator in any environment. So communication in an impactful way, that's a skill. Some people has a very good talent in communication, but personally, I learn from others. I think we all have a learning curve on communication skills, and it's not one-time thing that you say, "Oh, I learned communication." No, you face with million different type of personalities in your career and in your life, and you need to have a good understanding of people, kind of personalities, to also educate yourself how to communicate effectively with those type of groups or those type of personalities. Because as a leader you can have an introvert, you can have an extrovert, you can have people from different geolocations with different cultural background, and you need to study. I personally did study books about cultures, how different cultures work, how different cultures are direct or indirect, and then based on that have a better communication and better connection with my team members. So whenever I get a new nationality in my team, I was going and studying a bit about that country, how people live, because that can help me to have a better understanding of their kind of emotional signals as well. Because maybe in one country, when people are upset or demotivated, they talk too much. Maybe in one country, they talk less. I don't know. It's also very personal on the personality level. But it's still the cultural background can give you a better understanding of people. Yeah, people values, I would say. And that would be my mentorship to maybe first mentorship advice, a very generic one, because the mentorship can go very detailed based on the person. But I think on the harder skill is being on the trends, be proactive, and on the softer skills, communication, communication, communication.
Yeah, indeed, and that's the part of growing, but with sense and growing as a whole with multiple skills and not just technical ones. And that's very very important communication in all this part because you have to communicate with team members, with clients, with managers, I don't know, many other people. So keeping that in mind, if you were to build a team from scratch now, what qualities would you look in your team members?
Oh, nice question. First of all, in Kruso Netherlands, I'm so far I did handpicking of people that work together, and of course, those handpickings is coming from the first group that we are very close friends. We were professionally working together and became close friends. So they are now helping me to build this legacy, and at the same time, sorry, for the coming people that will be potential hiring, I already also had a talk with some of them. They are handpicked people that over the years I have seen them, and I always collect them from me, write them their names down somewhere, and say one day if I have a company, I'm gonna call them and hire them. So those quality people I have seen over the journey. But I think the main, if I'm gonna hire new people, which would happen anyway, because I would love to at the same time to hire more junior people to train to get to the good levels. At the same time, more seniors to help us to grow this company further and help clients. But for me, the main characteristic is on the emotional intelligence part, on the soft skill, is being a team working, commitment, ownership, and team working. Be a team player, and be easy to communicate with. And at the same time, on the harder skill, it's about I'm more into potentials to what is currently they have, because some people can have a very maybe not years of experience, but they have huge potentials. In 1 year, they can grow more than 10 years than another person. So I think the potential is very important. And I think that potential is especially more interesting when it comes to the harder skill, not softer skill. So usually the softer skills helps you even with a low experience or low seniority to grow faster than a person is senior but is not good in communication or presenting themselves. They have more difficulties to get promoted. So for me, it's very important. First of all, we have a team that can easily talk to each other, because for me, togetherness is a key as a company, and whoever comes to the environment should be basically flowing in to the team, and that's why I always, when we have hiring, that you have different stages of hiring, and I think that's a great thing because different people can get a perspective on that person, and at the end, everyone together we decide if that's a good fit for the team and for the club to join. Um, and one other thing that I would say to avoid in career and maybe in the interviews or whatever, or those are red signals for me, is people not knowing how to handle conflicts. People don't have the kind of the feeling that the failure is a learning, but see the failure as a negative thing. So they try to hide the failures. And at the same time, people that are a bit kind of stubborn, kind of not having a learning mindset. I think for me, the learning mindset is a very key thing. That's why potential. I look at potentials, not really what they have in hand. And I think the opposite of that, it's what I won't appreciate personally.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. It's indeed there are the qualities, the human qualities that mattered very, very much. I mean, there are a lot of great people, technical great people that could do stuff, but the human qualities you find them readily, and it's important to keep them when you find them.
Yeah, and also good to add to that, when I'm saying kind of that they are team players and we can communicate to each other effectively. At the same time, I'm into hiring people that think differently than me, because from
Mm,
those I learn the most. So it's very important you always in your team have a mixture of people that some can relate and some you cannot relate to them, because the mixture of these ideas, if you have the openness, togetherness, then it's going to be all just to the benefit, because people who have bring different views can just make you a better producer of any
mhm.
work for your client. So when it comes to interviews, also that a bit of craziness in people is very appreciated sometimes, and also a different view on things. And then when I'm surprised by the new views, that's a very huge signal to hire or to get that person in, because he doesn't think like us. The main thing is, as I mentioned, when we hire, is the effective communicators that can spread that. Because if you have a knowledge and you're not able to communicate that and to share that, then that's not that much appreciated. You should be able to share that, because we want to benefit from it. At the same time, you want to grow other team members.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, one quick question. If you could have dinner with any figure from the tech industry, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I never thought about that question, to be honest. If I'm gonna have a dinner, I would have it with my legend, football legend called Thierry Henry, the legend of Arsenal. If I'm gonna have a dinner, I would that would be he would be the first person to pick. But if I'm gonna pick from the tech industry, well, I think of course all these big names, you want to talk to them. Well, if I'm gonna maybe eliminate the choices, I won't. I'm not interested to have it with Mark Zuckerberg, but maybe I don't know, maybe the Microsoft guy and the Google guy. But I would pick between Bill Gates and Elon Musk. Maybe one of those I would be. Yeah, of course, pick any of them. That would be my pleasure to have. I mean, if I'm gonna pick between them and I have a choice, then I will pick between Bill Gates and
Okay,
Google.
why?
I think Bill Gates, because of the personality he has, is. I love that how he is the mastery of all the books reading. Apart from what he brought to the industry, like he was the beginner
Mm,
of a lot of things. But for me, it's that kind of a knowledge that he has and how he thinks. That's very interesting, and how he forecasts the stuff. And Elon Musk, because of the craziness. Because I want to sit in that dinner and see what crazy next gonna come. And I'm a very kind of futuristic person about going outside of the planet and make the kind of cross planet travels easy. I'm very
mm.
into that, and that's why I, even if he has a huge craziness in his personality and sometimes very unrealistic, but his craziness helps the world move forward, and it's good to sit and learn about him as a person.
Mm. Yes, yes, indeed, and this craziness have brought him success and everything that had now. To be able to think outside of the box first, be creative, and be crazy enough to pursue that goal. And well, yeah, thank you very much, Mahdi. If there's any thought that the audience you would like to remain with from our conversation, what that would be?
You mean the key takeaway from today?
Which your call?
Yeah, you mean one advice, if I'm going to do from or takeaway from
Mm,
today is, of course, first of all, it was my true pleasure to be here, and thanks for your invitation to be here. I
thank you.
hope from this conversation at least they get a bit piece of motivation to grow, and everything is realistic. You can achieve whatever you want. It doesn't matter where you are now as a software engineer. At the same time, be ambitious, be asking, be demanding, and go outside the box. Don't be coders. Coders are dead. Just be problem solvers, and try to have the mindset always when you do something, how you can share it the day after. It will give you a good direction what the skills you need to learn to be a better sharer, I would say. And yeah, proactiveness is the key in a lot of growth. Try to be the first, either picking an opportunity, either solving a problem, either going for new things to explore. Yeah, try to be the first.
Awesome, awesome advices. Thank you very much, Mahdi. It was a pleasure discussing with you and having you invited here. And I want to thank you for all the good and motivational in the end thoughts that you gave here today. And it you have a lot of experience and people early in this industry, and not just in the tech industry, could enjoy and take everything from here.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope so too. People find it useful, and yeah, looking forward also to hearing some feedbacks, and they know where to find me personally if they have any question.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, again, thanks for having me.
Sure. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Vibe It Up. I hope you enjoyed our insightful conversation with Mahdi Fanidisfani. Before we go, I want to extend a big thank you to our guest for sharing his valuable experiences and perspectives. So, if you, our listeners, have been inspired or have burning questions after this episode, I encourage you to connect with us. You can find more about Vibe It Up on our website, LinkedIn profile, and on YouTube. So there you'll discover additional resources, episodes, and so much other things. So thank you again, Madi. Have an awesome day.